Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Day 3 of the Diddy federal sex trial is in the books, and Cassie Ventura has exited the courtroom after giving a compelling testimony of fear, intimidation, and pain. Lots of pain. Boy, she said Diddy whooped on her for 10 years. She also said for 10 years, they participated in hundreds of freakoffs. In 2023, Cassie went to rehab and trauma therapy. She described losing her will to live and her contemplation of suicide. She said, I was spinning out of control and I didn't want to live anymore at that point. I couldn't take the pain I was in anymore. She described trying to walk out the front door into traffic, but her husband stopped her. She wrote in the chapters of a book, putting everything on paper for the first time so I could really understand what I had been through over many years. She wanted Diddy to read it because she said she wanted him to recognize the pain he put her through. Diddy listened to this with his chin resting on his hand, elbow on the table. He brought the concept to me when I was 22, she said, speaking of the Freakoffs, and it never stopped. Through tears, Cassie said, I was always so numb because that's what I chose to get through it. She said she offered Diddy the rights to her book for $30 million. It's a number that she says she picked randomly to get his attention, but she received no money. So, in 2023, she filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Diddy for $30 million that settled the next day. How much you think she got? How much you think she got? $20 million. Settled the next day for $20 million. When asked why she agreed to testify, Cassie said, I can't carry this anymore. I can't carry the shame, the guilt, the way I was guided to treat people like they were disposable. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. I'm here to do the right thing. After 400 freakoffs. She didn't say the freakoffs part, I just added that. When you hear Cassie's story of abuse, you can't help but feel some empathy for her, right? No matter what, she's still somebody's daughter. So you can't help but feel something for her. But similar to, let's say, a youngster who goes out and robs somebody because his stomach is growling, she still got to be held accountable for her role. It's as simple as that. I'm just one of those type of people that know how to take my bitter with my sweet. And I don't have a lot of patience for people who willingly participate in bad activities and don't want to hold themselves accountable at all. I got a problem with that. Yes, Diddy was manipulative, I do believe. Yes, Diddy abused her, I do believe. But Cassie also abused people. And when it got so bad that she just couldn't take it anymore, she just couldn't look at herself in the mirror anymore. She couldn't take one more punch. One more. She finally caught her snap and subsequently filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Diddy for her pain and suffering. But what about all the good times she did have? What about the times she did enjoy those freak-offs? Because nobody can tell me different. She already admitted in the first day of testimony that she enjoyed it sometimes, just not so frequently, right? Today, she switched it up a little bit and says she never enjoyed the freak-offs. So the defense got something to work with right there in the cross. The biggest parts of Cassie's testimony today was that she was suicidal and she walked away with $20 million after suing Diddy and settling. Let's go back to that 20 million, which originated at 30 million. And I talked about that, how Diddy should have settled immediately, but he took for granted. He tried to call her bluff, and it backfired on him because he thought he knew Cassie. He thought she ain't gonna do nothing, she just talking. How do you read an entire book? You read a manuscript and she telling you, look, okay, if you don't want this stuff to come out, you can buy the book from me. That's always a sticky situation because a person can always decide to tell the story anyway. So that's always a sticky situation when somebody got something like that on you. That's why it's important to not let anybody have something like that on you, because they can always renege. How many times have you seen heard about stories where people had a deal? Look, man, you go and handle this business for me over there. I'm gonna give you half of the insurance money. I'm gonna give you $100,000. Handle that for me. And then they go handle it. You give them the $100,000, you hold up to your end, but now they asking for more money. You know, after they spend that $100,000, they want some more money. Sometimes before they even get to the other half of the $100,000, they say, you know what, man, I think what I did, you know, is more like $200,000, because it would be a really, really bad situation for you and your nice little happy family minus your husband. If it ever got out that you had something to do with his death, I'm sure your children would hate you for that. And you'd have to turn in your Versace for a jumpsuit, a prison jumpsuit. I don't think that would look too good on you. Next thing you know, stroking another check. Or you're trying to figure out a way to get rid of this guy. Yeah. So the best thing to do is don't let somebody get that kind of information on you. Don't put yourself in that type of position where somebody can have that type of information on you. As much as it seems like a good idea and it's cool to be, freaky with somebody that you are being intimate with or you're in a serious relationship with, if you don't want it shown in a courtroom, I'm telling you, don't do it. Because relationships end every day. Even the best ones, even the relationships we thought was going to go the distance. People break up all the time. It can be high school sweethearts. They break up. And when people break up, oftentimes, they act very immature and they look for revenge. They try to hurt the other person. And what better way to hurt somebody that you was in a long-term relationship with, somebody that you know intimately, that you know where the bodies are buried, than to put out how they get down in the bedroom or at the hotel or on a boat, train, bus, backyard, kitchen floor, living room floor, bathroom, pool table, Rocky Mountains, woods. You know what I'm talking about, fam. Y'all be careful out there, fam. Be careful out there. Remember, if you don't want somebody to show it in a court of law, if you don't want to see it make its way in a court of law, you probably shouldn't do it. No more talk.